This is a global pandemic that is going to decimate all sorts of families, and in so many ways, social, economic, and, you know, through the loss of loved ones. There's no other time in human history where we have ever had anything remotely like this. This is something that is either going to bring a community together to support each other because this is a disaster that's affecting us all, or it might create social divisions, and we've got to be really aware of that.
The impact on the world economy is going to be huge. We call it a supply-side shock, which is unusual, so that it's not that demand is not there, it's just that people can't get to work, can't produce. The economic stimulus might not be all that effective because it's not that people don't want to buy. Maybe they can't get the goods off the supermarket shelves. Commentators are talking about the effect on the economy is similar to the war, and the restrictions on people's liberties are being affected. And in sporting industry, the chief executive of the Brisbane Lions suggested they will lose over the season perhaps $5 million plus corporate sponsorship. So there's going to be a big hit on the clubs, and indirectly it's going to be a hit on clubs through broadcast rights revenue. The broadcast rights revenue is something like 6 years, $2.5 billion. This is about $420 million a year lost for the season to the league. So that's a lot of money. Around the world, nearly every league is postponed or cancelled their operation.
We rely a lot on international tourists. That will be another sector that will be impacted. About 5% of the people are employed in the tourism sector. So if the tourists can't come in and the domestic travelers are unwilling to travel because of the virus, then that is another sector of the economy that is heavily impacted.
Coronavirus ticks a lot of the boxes when it comes to a risk that we perceive as scary. So it's uncontrollable, it's invisible, it's potentially dreadful. When we are faced by a risk that we perceive as scary, then we experience anxiety. And so buying toilet paper or stockpiling other products was, at the start, a way to alleviate some of that anxiety that was building up.
When we see someone stockpiling things, the fear of losing out or missing out will drive us to follow suit. This is what we call a herd mentality at work. In the heat of the moment, they are not thinking about how that will impact others who may not have access to such supplies. Consumers are not sure what exactly is going on and what will happen next. So it is this uncertainty, not knowing who to believe, not knowing what's going to happen next, that is driving certain what we call irrational behavior.
Something like the current public health crisis can bring out the best and the worst in people. So we've seen some of the negative facets that it brings out in humans. I mean, we've seen people fight in supermarkets. We've seen also potentially stigmatization driven by fear.
We saw this very early on where people stopped going to Chinese or Asian restaurants because they were afraid of contracting the virus, even though the odds of that happening were zero. It was just a ridiculous fear because the virus originated from China, and there has been irresponsible reporting about that. President Trump, who I think has been incredibly irresponsible to label it as a China virus, I think that is just one of the most ridiculous things that could be done.
There's also research showing that, especially in a disaster or a crisis, something like a collective identity emerges that can lead to really positive solidarity type actions. So people are feeling connected all of a sudden with people that they haven't felt connected with before, and they take responsibility.
This is an opportunity for all of us to recognize our humanness and what we share.
I've read a really interesting quote. The most important weapon is going to be a vaccine, and the second most important is going to be communication. We don't have a vaccine yet. Until then, communication is really important in how we're going to contain this crisis. And the more accurate information that we can spread, and the more we respond to that in sensible ways, the more we're going to be able to contain this.
This particular situation has now raised our awareness of the importance of being prepared. And a very simple guiding principle in our lives is, can we do more with less? We have been used to a booming economy with high incomes. Now that we are seeing a lot of stockouts in the stores, we have to ask ourselves, do we need so much stuff? As we think about having a more sustainable society, a sustainable planet, I think these are all important underlying lessons that we have to absorb as consumers in general.
I do feel optimistic as much as I think the next 6 months will be brutal. The next 10 years after this, as we rebuild, will be hard and sacrifices will have to be made. This is an opportunity for us to pause and become a better community as we move forward. And yes, I absolutely think that that's possible.